The Tony nominations are out. Variety's Broadway edition of Actors on Actors is out. And Lewis, Juan, and I have seen just about all of the theater we can at this point, so there's no better time for our annual theater review. We'll get into the highs, the lows, and snubs from this season, starting with these nominations. All right, Juan, you're our guest of honor. What are you feeling about these Tony nominations?
It was a very strong year, and I love when Tonys make statements that I agree with in who they shut out and how hard, by which I mean Kieran Culkin, let me never see you again.
Go! You did not like him in Glengarry Glen Ross.
He was miscast. I also, as someone who never watched Succession, I feel more vindicated than ever in that decision. He was horrible. However, I would have given it to Bill Burr over Bob Odenkirk for featured actor.
That was very surprising to me. I don't feel like anybody predicted. Well, first of all, I don't think anybody predicted that Kieran Culkin would be snubbed. So that was like a sharply defiant statement. But secondly, I really thought Bill Burr was going to get in. That felt really shocking to me.
He was great. I mean, listen, this is the most sort of defanged in the world of beta male Glengarry I have ever seen. And Bill was just the only one who, Bill just the nasty language rolls off his tongue extremely well.
Which is so funny because I think that a more sort of acidic version of a Mammoth play we got recently, we didn't get to bring it up with Darren, but I loved him. I loved American Buffalo. I thought that was much more acidic and felt like Mammoth at his purest form.
Well, that's because it was in the round and you had what's-his-face injuring audience members throwing shit around.
Also, shut out Othello. None for you and your $900 ticket prices.
No, okay, it has to be mainly about that, right? And I know people were kind of...
No, it's boring. It's bad and boring.
But was it boring enough that you would snub Jake Gyllenhaal?
I think that and Andrew Burnap, who is this play Rodrigo, I believe his character. Fuck, whatever. I think it's a strong year, and when you're a production that everyone hates, that does drag you down. I don't think I would necessarily replace anyone with the two of them, but it was a bad and boring production.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that because even though I love the strong statement making, as you said, if it was purely about the price gouging, I would have been a little bit like, okay, well, people are salty. But to hear that is like kind of nice. And I'm sure Jake Gyllenhaal has a Tony somewhere in his future. And of course, Denzel is already a Tony winner.
Which is crazy, though, too, because his only nomination is for lead actor from Seawall in 2021. And he was, I don't think that the revival of Sunday in the Park with George was, it withdrew from Tony's consideration in 2017.
It withdrew because the producers did not want to waste potential ticket money on inviting Tony voters for free.
Wow. Yeah, it was a very small run, too. And they were like, let's get that money. Let's get that bread. And But Jake Gyllenhaal definitely
he was amazing
been nominated for that. Yeah, I mean, that's one he could have won for.
Right.
So
okay.
She loves the theater, though. She'll be back.
We have to get to the main event, though, which is the Best Actress in a Musical category, in which an extremely strong year. Obviously, both leads from Death Becomes Her got in. Obviously, Nicole Scherzinger in Sunset Boulevard. We have the aforementioned Audra McDonald in Gypsy. And then Jasmine Amy Rogers snuck in for Boop in a much beloved, or Ira beloved, production, ahead of Helen J. Shen in Maybe Happy Ending. Juan, help us. We're overwhelmed with Prestige and Lady Glory.
Okay, so what's crazy is, and not to make this one of those things where people think it's sexist for Ryan Gosling to be nominated and not Margot Robbie or whatever, but we do have two categories with 6 men for actor and only 5 for actress, which everyone was sort of saying, this has to be, we have so many leading actresses in a musical, this has to be a 6th person slot. The mechanics of how nominations open up from 4 to 5 to 6 or more are very weird and archaic. Helen J. Shen, absolutely snubbed. I wouldn't swap anybody out. I would just add her in. That said, you said Jasmine Amy Rogers snuck in. I would not be surprised if she won. This is truly...
Wow. Say that.
This is truly a case of there's
I'm booping.
One amazing thing in that production, and you are watching before your very fucking eyes, a la Barbara in Funny Girl, just a star being completely born. She is so watchable, sounds amazing, looks amazing. Like,
inhabits Betty Boop in such a fascinating original way, and it's sort of the way that you talked about Barbie, right? The way that Margot Robbie sort of inhabits Barbie. She inhabits Betty Boop, the cartoon, the way that she's sort of confused by the real world. It's very Barbie-esque, actually, the plot, and she's so amazing. She sounds amazing. She is a fucking star. People are up on their fucking feet for her. With the standing ovation at the end. Like, people are going crazy for her. I know that I've sort of proselytized about Boop, but it is worth it to see this show for her. She is amazing. Boop and Death Becomes Her are my two favorite musicals on Broadway right now, and I'm just so excited about them as original Broadway musicals. Like, they're fun. I mean, they're based on IP, but they're great.
I still feel like touting the Scherzinger performance, though, because what I'll say is I just don't think before this version of this show, anybody would have ever considered, like, With One Look to be a top-tier musical theater song. And I think the way she performs it, which is, for me, the only version I've heard of this show where it gives actual dignity to the character of Norma Desmond. Like, she actually reaches out like an old movie star and sort of acts like she still has the power of, like, you know, a Louise Brooks or Marlene Dietrich or someone from that time who, like, during the golden age of silent movies could, like, entrance you with one look, as the song is about. That, to me, alone is worth something. And obviously, it's also been the theatrical event of the year. Is there any... Do you think the fact that it's been running so long compared to Boop being a brand new moment, are voters thinking about that?
I don't know that it's been running so long, even though it is crazy, sort of the steep drop off between every gay person you know going to see that show and putting it on their Instagram story and then just sort of poof after a few months. I don't know. Look, I appreciate your read on that song, on how Nicole performs that song, giving it dignity. However, I just don't think that is a character in the musical, not so much the film, that I think adding dignity to her goes against the text, which is why I loved Glenn Close in the 2016 revival, who just absolutely goes for broke, pathetic. That is a pathetic performance, and I mean that in the most brilliant way possible. I just think
she's a little too sexy too, you know.
Well, that's
like
my
the
thing.
character.
I'm like, why doesn't Tom Francis want to fuck her? She's extremely
right.
hot. She just
Girl,
did a
lay
split.
it down, okay?
But also,
I'd be
she
spreading all over Sunset.
She is indeed sexy, but at the same time, she's like a ghoul. Like the way, like every line is sort of like
That
loser,
loser,
a kind of Bela
girl that
Lugosi.
he's in love with in the show.
No, she is a
That
loser.
Best love story is Loserville.
Also,
okay.
Also, I have to say that actress, whoever she is, she's really good. She has to put up with some lines, just like, "Oh, I hope we get this script done. Oh, look, my first script is done." Just that's
I'll refrain from commenting on her performance, but my God, they really just have her in athleisure.
Yeah,
It's
it's American
she's
Apparel.
Like she's being shot at, and she's wearing like a Nike waistband. It's horrible.
My main problem with Sunset Boulevard, as I said, I'd seen it finally after Lewis had seen it, is there's so much attention paid to the production itself, to the lead characters, that everyone else is sort of almost underacting, and it's like you just swing back and forth from tone while watching it, and no one else feels interesting or dynamic in the show at all.
I just don't sense loss. I don't register Nicole's Norma as someone who is not relevant, not rich, not sexy, not capable or willing. I don't know. I look, the production, like, it sounds amazing. There are moments when the screens are used that I am like, the only way I could say, fucking gagged. Like, truly, the title credits is amazing. Tom Francis's face. I mean, look, we've thirsted after this child long enough on this episode.
That's a man.
He looks amazing in
Yeah.
that intense thing. I just think that production, so much of it feels like jangling keys in front of an audience. I don't know.
Danny DeKay?
That said, Gypsy. That said, the counterpart, Gypsy, that production could have jangled some more keys in my face, and I would have loved it a bit more, even though I do think Audra's giving a fantastic performance.
They're a bit lost in the conversation here, but Megan Hilty, Jennifer Samard are fucking gangbusters in this show. They are running this shit. Them and Christopher Seabart, they are amazing. I love Death Becomes Her. The three of them, fantastic performers. I love watching them.
It also seems like if it weren't for Oh Mary, that would be the breakout comedic moment of the Broadway season. It seems like everybody comes out of that show thinking it's fucking hilarious.
It's definitely the breakout musical comedy in a way that everyone who has gone to see it or have sent to go see it or I have gone back to see it with says like, wow, I have not enjoyed a sort of just good old musical comedy like this in so long. And it also, I think, interestingly, you bring up, people like shutting out high ticket prices or big money or whatever. This is fully a Universal Pictures, like Steven Spielberg backed project. However, it's this thing of, oh, wow, this is what we can do when we have $1 billion at work with actual craft behind it.
Yes.
In a way that I do not feel for Stranger Things, The First Shadow, one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Wow, it's that bad. I'm surprised to hear it's that bad.
It is.
Have you seen the show? The
Me?
TV show? Have you seen the current season?
No,
I'm not shocked.
I haven't kept up, I have to say. I do enjoy
The
that
only
Kate
reason
Bush
I'm
girl.
this
She
hard on
popped
it-
off. Yeah.
The only reason I'm this hard on it is because the first act does and gives you enough of a plot so that someone like me who has never seen the show can follow it, and then the second act is completely unintelligible. It is just characters I've never seen before having interactions that have absolutely no weight to me. I don't know. Maybe my edible was wearing off by the second act or something. I was bored as hell, and I was really mad. And the show ends. Oh God, the show ends with a screen in the bottom right that says like the Netflix keep watching or watch the credits thing. And the audience was hooting at that reference, and I'm pissed at Netflix.
Oh, that's tough.
Well, speaking of Stranger Things, let's move over to Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role in a Play, where Sadie Sink is nominated for John Proctor is the Villain. And it's puzzling because I would certainly not call her the lead of this play, even if her name is on the marquee. She's in 20 minutes of this play.
Oh, weird.
She's great. She is absolutely the least featured performance in that show. But here's the thing. I surprisingly really like that play. So if her name on the title,
love it.
Sold tickets, let's go.
Yeah, it is actually it is neck and neck with Purpose for my favorite current play. I think Oh Mary is third. But John Proctor as a Villain is fantastic and hilarious, and I love Purpose. I think it's just such a good critique of Black excellence and also theatrical conventions, and I just feel like Oh Mary's hilarious. Cola Scola is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. They're so funny. I cannot wait to see what else they do, but John Proctor's the Villain and Purpose just feel creatively more original and exciting to me.
And of course,
Derek.
Purpose just won the Pulitzer Prize for
Yes.
drama, and Oh Mary was a finalist. Isn't it so weird that the Pulitzers run this way? That they're like, here's who won, and then here's who we kind of considered. It's like they can't help but insult them a little bit. It's funny.
No, I actually love that because Juan and I's friends, Patrick Lilly and Michael Breslin, were Pulitzer nominated for Circle Jerk. And
Oh, right.
Listen, being Pulitzer nominated is a flex.
It's true. Right.
Yeah.
Better than not being.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, okay, we already talked about how Jasmine Amy Rogers was a definitive musical performance for you. Who do you think is the best acting performance, nominated or not, this year, Juan?
Interesting. I'll say this. Purpose, I really liked it, and obviously it's not a matter of, the people who vote and nominators aren't seeing the larger picture, right? They're just seeing who they're voting for and things fall as they do. The best performance in Purpose is by Alana Arenas, who is the only cast member not nominated.
It's puzzling.
You gotta feel bad. She just won something else. Let me see what that was. And she's
it
the
the
only one from
Drama Desk?
Purpose who won
Circles or
this.
something?
No, it wasn't Drama Desk. But whatever body this is, they also gave Shailene Woodley, who was in the play Cult of Love, which was completely shut out. Shailene Woodley just won the 16th annual Dorothy Loudon Award for Excellence in Theater.
Cult
It's
of Love
gotta be
was
the
shut
craziest
out,
thing.
and I enjoyed that play quite a bit. It was shut out along with Job, which I thought at least could have been nominated for Best Play. Like the writing in it
Absolutely.
is so fucking good, and but that's also a play that I feel like was shocking to Tony voters,
yeah.
and it adds more of a off-Broadway feel to it. Then I was shocked that it did so well on Broadway, to be honest. But Max Wolf-Friedrich is an amazing playwright, and I can't wait to see what else he does next.
Yeah, so Job is a play that started 2 years ago, maybe now? Over a year ago, off Broadway. And it's about this sort of high-strung tech worker, I'll leave it at that for future spoilers, who has a very fraught meeting with her therapist. And you have never seen an audience reaction change more than like me and the 30 other kids downtown, and then just old people being shook by what they were seeing on that stage on Broadway.
And also, what he does with the Chekhov's gun is fantastic. Keep It is brought to you by Soul. Soul gummies are a perfect replacement for alcohol, which I've kind of been drinking less of these days. Kind of like Lewis.
Yeah.
You know?
Been almost 3 years, yeah.
Yeah. You know, the headaches, the extra calories, who needs them?
I feel the same way. Also, I am what we call Irish, and I don't know, something about alcohol hangs on us the wrong way. We get what we call the fear after we drink. Look it up.
And I saw Long Day's Journey on Tonight. It was a documentary about your people.
That's right. That's my whole family. Yes. Katharine Hepburn, my dear mother.
Listen, having a microdose of THC instead of a stronger edible is always preferable, because me and a big edible, I am down boots. All right? I'm not even getting off the couch to go to bed. I just pass out there.
And that is where today's sponsor, Soul, can help. Soul is a wellness brand that believes feeling good should be fun and easy. Soul specializes in delicious hemp-derived THC and CBD products designed to boost your mood and help you unwind. Their best-selling out-of-office gummies were designed to provide a mild, relaxing buzz, boost your mood, and enhance creativity and relaxation. The out-of-office gummies come in 4 different strengths, so you can find the perfect dose for your vibe. Choose from a gentle microdose, perfect buzz, a noticeable high, or a fully lit experience. Come back to Earth sometime, kids.
With wellness at the forefront, you can feel good about what you're putting in your body. All of Soul's products are made from organically farmed, U.S.-grown hemp and are vegan, gluten-free, and low in sugar. Plus, Soul has so many other amazing wellness products with or without THC, including a variety of gummies and capsules that can improve sleep, stress, pain, focus, bloating, and more. So bring on the good vibes and treat yourself to Soul today. Right now, Soul is offering our audience 30% off your entire order. Go to getsoul.com and use the code KEEPIT. That's getsoul.com, promo code KEEPIT for 30% off.
Keep It is brought to you by Helix. If you've paid attention to me for even a nanosecond, you know I have a Helix mattress and that I love it. You know what we rarely talk about? The sex on it. Mother,
wow.
It is so good.
Dr. Ruth.
Here I am, lowering my glasses and looking to camera. Can't recommend it enough. You'll just have to experience it for yourself. I'm not going to go into it further. But anyway, everybody is unique, and everybody sleeps differently. That's why Helix has several different mattress models to choose from, each designed for specific sleep positions and feel preferences. Take the Helix Sleep Quiz and find your perfect mattress in under 2 minutes. The Helix lineup offers 20 unique mattresses, including models with memory foam layers to provide optimal pressure relief if you sleep on your side, which I do. I truly was getting cramps in my hand one night, and I was like, what am I doing? Am I exercising wrong? No, Lewis, you're crushing your hand in your sleep. I'm like a detective. Models with a more responsive foam to cradle your body for essential support in stomach and back sleeping positions as well.
The memory foam remembers everything.
What happens on the memory foam stays in the memory foam.
Helix Sleep knows there's no better way to test out a mattress than by sleeping on it in your own home. And so that's why they offer a 100-night trial and a 10 to 15-year warranty to try out your new Helix mattress. Plus, your personalized mattress is shipped straight to your door free of charge.
Go to helixsleep.com/keepit for 27% off site-wide and a free bedding bundle, which includes a sheet set and mattress protector for sex with any Luxe or Elite mattress order exclusive for listeners of Keep It. That's helixsleep.com/keepit for 27% off site-wide and a free bedding bundle, including a sheet set and mattress protector with any Luxe or Elite mattress order exclusive for listeners of Keep It. helixsleep.com/keepit. Do it for sex.
Yeah, I also want to shout out English, which won the Pulitzer 2 years ago. Sort of came and went on Broadway. I'm glad it even got a Broadway run, but it has.
I didn't even get to see it. I felt like the run was so short.
Tough, it was, but it has 2 actresses featured role in the play: Marjan Nishat and Tala Ash. It's a play about this adult English learning class in Tehran in 2008, and it is just. I walked out of that the first time I saw it. The way that there's like apocryphal stories of people walking out of Death of a Salesman and just sort of accidentally walking into traffic. You know, I was moved, and I'm so glad it's being recognized. I cannot wait to see what The playwright does next. Gorgeous play. I just want to shout that out. And I think that was a very strong ensemble. It was a good year for ensembles, which I think is why there's a lot of tenseness as to who got in and who didn't, because you can't nominate everyone. But
that I was actually sort of surprised, given the reactivity to these high octane ticket gougey productions, that George Clooney still got in for Good Night and Good Luck. What was your take on that?
People have a hard on for Clooney.
Yeah.
That's like, that's the only explanation.
Even with that hair dye, because girl, he is looking. It's like Cole. It's like he had a meeting with Frosty the Snowman and pillaged his outfit. Yeah.
he looks sexy. I mean, that's sort of one of the only ones that play got, if not the only one.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. It's sort of just the movie on stage. He's fine. He's pretty much behind a screen half the time he's on stage, so you do feel a little cheated out of seeing George Clooney. I'm not pissed at that nomination. You know.
Yeah. Luckily, I was seated house left, where he is sitting at the desk, and you can actually see his face, and you're not just watching the screen. But if you're not over there, you're barely seeing him most of the play.
Weird.
I sort of hated Good Night and Good Luck anyway, because it's had so many lines that were pat on the back liberalism, like you could clap because, oh my God, isn't that just like what's happening politically now? It reminded me a lot of when Juan and I saw N.A., the play about Nancy Pelosi and AOC, which was a lot better, by the way.
A lot better than we had expected it to be, but
yeah, it was funny.
I think a peak Nancy AOC play would just be like a cat fight in, like a mud bath or something. Like, make it really fun.
It should have devolved into Dynasty, and instead it was but let's just say the audience was laughing at every Nancy joke, and I think you even said, Juan, that this audience would they would shoot AOC in the face.
Oh wow! It was like a
they were
partisan.
not on her. They were like older liberals, and they were just like, they were not vibing with any line that came out of AOC's mouth.
Oh yeah, they find her a little lippy. I see. Yes.
Yeah. The Wednesday matinee crowd at Lincoln Center Theater was not ready to eat the rich or tax the rich.
I was also happy to see Daniel Day Kim nominated for Yellowface, which was a production that I actually quite enjoyed.
Yeah, he's great. Him and Francis Ju, I think, who plays his dad, are both nominated for that play. It was a great production. Sort of a very fun history lesson in theater. Oh, that sounds horrible. As I just said.
Not history lesson as in, we're teaching you history, but the Yellowface is a play that Henry Haven Wang wrote about his own life. Like it's sort of like a fictional biography of what happened to him after his first big production, which was in Butterfly, and that is why it feels like it's you're steeping into theater in the 90s and finding out what was happening during that period. So that's why it's so fun. Who do we think is going to win for the actors? Best leading actor in a musical. We've got Darren, who's nominated. He's up against Andrew Duran from Dead Outlaw. And, I mean, you and I were dead as an outlaw child last week. And
I liked it. I don't know what that means, listeners. I liked Dead Outlaw.
The play is about Elmer McCurdy, who was a outlaw in the early 1900s and then dies and is mummified, and his body was sort of carted around the U.S. at various fairs and shows where they were showing outlaws until like the 70s, where he was found by the producers of $1 Million Man in L.A., not in L.A., in Long Beach. And I think that the first half of the play, which depicts his life, is very Forrest Gumpy and has no conflict and is very boring. But I think that the second half of the play is hilarious and goofy and weird and kooky, but it's one of those things that I enjoy as a theater goer, as like a person who just wants to see something weird, and I would never suggest that anyone spend money to see this play.
Rough, but you know what? A little fair, and I do think it might have overperformed at the Tonys, and there is the not impossible chance that it wins a lot of awards, and I think if it does, it's not going to really take off with audiences, and it's going to close, and it's going to be sort of an embarrassment for the Tonys. Not to
it's not a cultural moment. you know? And I
Yeah.
like David Yazbek, but it's just like, it's not a moment. It's feeling like people think it should be like stereophonic, but it's really not.
I think this is a competitive category, though, because you've got Darren Criss in Maybe Happy Ending. I feel like Jonathan Groff is not out of it for playing Bobby Darin in Just in Time, and Jeremy Jordan in Floyd Collins. So I feel like it's like, I don't know, you almost have to like write a 5-paragraph essay about who you're going to vote for.
Yeah, and there's also James Monroe Iglehart, who sort of brought about this Louis Armstrong musical. I mean, look, Jeremy Jordan sounds fucking incredible. It is so nice to have him in adult material, which is what Floyd Collins is. You know, it's not Newsies.
Yeah.
He's amazing in it. Jonathan Groff is great. He's sort of, I mean, Just in Time is a very good, above average biomusical about Bobby Darin, and he sells you on, you know, if you went in asking who the hell asked for a Bobby Darin biomusical, he sells it to you.
Still don't want to listen to that music, though. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
I
Kevin
like Splish
Spacey really
Splash.
got me
I'm
off
good.
of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would say
Did he play
it's
it for you
between-
once?
No. Oh, yeah, we're pals. Did I not bring that up? Okay.
Lewis records those videos he drops every Thanksgiving.
Happy Merry Christmas. Yeah.
I think it's between Jeremy and Darren. Darren's doing something really special and maybe Happy Ending. Lewis, I know that you have no idea what I'm talking about.
That's right.
But it's a performance that starts out so big because he really is just playing this robot. And it took me about 90 seconds to lock in and say, oh no, he's doing this. Okay, we're doing the full robot. But he's amazing. And that show is really sort of heartwarming, heart-wrenching, beautiful. I remember when it was being announced, it was delayed for a while because the technology hadn't been sort of, you know, delivered or set up or whatever. And the producers said something to the effect of, guys, the way is worth it. This is technology in theater, the likes of which we haven't seen since, you know, the original Chandelier and Phantom of the Opera. Insane thing to say, and then you see it, and it's absolutely true. It is a complete marvel. Shout out to Michael Arden, who directed the shit out of this production.
Our pal, yes. Mm-hmm.
Who probably will win his second Tony. I mean, the truly masterful work all across the board in that show. It's so
He can
beautiful.
say again at the Tonys.
I was going to say, guys, it can't be underestimated that it took until Michael Arden for someone to say the F word at the Tonys. Thank God.
Well,
Yeah.
on the
On
mic.
mic.
Yeah, it's going to be right. As opposed to people just greeting each other with it. Yeah.
Baby, you know Patty was slinging it around, okay? She went to the Tonys with Jeffrey Richmond.
No.
She should have. Could you imagine if she had called George Clooney a on their little Actors on Actors?
Oh,
She
my
might
God.
have.
He would beg for more.
She could have.
Yeah. No, I'm sure.
Pair her-
I'm sure
pair
Ethel
with
Merman
Cole, she
greeted
would've.
people with that word. Please. It's a historical word. Yeah.
I will shout out featured role in the musical actor Taylor Trench, who has consistently been the best thing of anything he's consistently been the best thing in everything he's in. This is his first nomination. He was in Hello Dolly with Bette Midler. He was in a truly awful, production of the play, of the movie Safety Not Guaranteed, but he was amazing in it. He was in this batshit play with Cynthia Nixon called A 7-Year Disappear, where at one point Cynthia Nixon plays a paupered out priest who's trying to fuck Taylor Trench. Male priest. Love it. He's amazing. And also Brooks Ashman says in Smash, a show which is not really getting its due, but I know, Ira, you loved it as much as I did, if not more.
Baby, I'm going to be a smash, okay? We are... I mean, I'm booping right now with my Betty Boop cup, but my Smash cup is right over there. I wore my Smash hat to the gym today, and I love the show. It's stupid, sort of like the TV show was. It's better than the TV show, which was just bad, but the music was great. And this is at least funny and weird and biting. You know, it's if you know the show, the TV show was about two women, Ivy and Karen, who were Megan Hilty and Catherine McPhee, fighting over the role of Marilyn Monroe in Bombshell the Musical. And the play sort of says, we're not going to have these divas fighting with each other. Instead, the Ivy character is going to get into method acting and become crazy. And Karen is her understudy, and she is sort of thwarted at her attempts to sort of assume the lead role. And then there's this third extra thing, another woman who is vying for the play, but it's really nasty and funny about the concept of producing Broadway musicals and Broadway commercialism in general. And the music's great. And I think it's just a really fun show, to be honest. It's a fun Broadway musical. And Brooks is amazing. Brooks was in Uncoupled, which I wrote on, and I just think that Brooks is an amazing actor, and I'm glad that this is such a showcase for him.
Also, before we move on, I want to shout out two people. One, in O'Mary, which we've talked about before, so I'm not too sad to skip it now. Conrad Ricamora as Abe Lincoln in O'Mary is fucking hilarious. The line right at the beginning when it's revealed to us that Abe Lincoln is a horny gay person. He sees somebody bend over. He sees somebody bend over and goes, "Fuck!" And I'm so sorry. It was hot. I am so sorry. Some people do something vocally, and I am there for it. And then secondly. Kara Young in Purpose. This is her 4th year in a row being nominated in the featured actress in a play. She won last year. This is like a new Tony.
As usual.
She is the Tony Queen. She is like the queen of this award show now.
Which, by the way, I fully believe that Kara Young's character is listening to Keep It in the play. Juan, reference the line.
Yeah, I've got to ask the playwright, my close personal friend, I've never met him, Brendan Jacobs-Jenkins. The Kara Young character says something to the effect of, her best friend / maybe romantic partner, it's the whole thing, says something to the effect of, I kept falling asleep on this long ass car ride. She kept listening to this podcast of these two gay guys just talking endlessly about pop culture.
Who are intense about pop culture. And let's just say there are many shows where two gay men discuss pop culture, and Kara Young's character seems like a woman who's read The Atlantic before. So,
okay.
So she's probably
There's
listening
fewer
to
options,
Keep
actually.
It. She's
Okay.
she's listening to Keep It. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Kara.
Let's just say that.
Okay. And the hosts are maybe not so Kara Young. You know what I'm saying? They're a little older. Yeah, right.
We could wrap this up by figuring out, what do we think is winning Best Musical? What do we think is winning Best Play? And what is winning Revival?
Right. Well, best thirst trap is Orville Peck for the thing he just posted on his Instagram. He is currently slaying in Cabaret, a show, a production I formerly hated. Everyone, please turn your attention to Orville Peck's Instagram. Thank you. Musical, I'll give it to Maybe Happy Ending. As much as I love Death Becomes Her, I do think Maybe Happy Ending advances the form in a way that's really, really exciting. And it's also got this great narrative. It almost closed before it even started previews because there was no interest in it, and then it completely turned it around, has sort of become the darling of the season. Everyone's rooting for it. I'll hand it to that.
Buena Vista Social Club I have not seen yet, but you enjoyed.
Yes, mi gente latino. Fabulous fucking play and or musical rather. It's so fun. Justin Peck, who directed Illinois last year, the Sufjan Stevens musical, he and his wife Patricia Delgado do the choreography here. It's so much fun. The band is getting a special Tony because they truly just are taking it on that stage.
Good. Yeah. I think that Maybe Happy Ending really dropped sort of Dead Outlaw, which you like, but I didn't love. Death Becomes Her, obviously, is fantastic. And Operation Mincemeat, a new musical, we were sort of both different on that play, too. I think it's fun, and I like the, British farce of it, but it's a 3-hour musical, and it should really be 100 minutes. And then I would love it a lot more. Also, there are really no songs in it, except for this one song called Bill's Turn.
Yeah, it's
Letter
a
to
lot
Bill.
of Letter to Bill. It's a lot of sort of Hamilton-y recitatives as opposed to distinct numbers. But I had fun. It's a farce.
Play, Purpose, or O'Mary. It has to be one of those two.
I think it's going to be.
It has to be O'Mary.
You think it will win?
I think Cole's taking Best Actor and Best Play.
God, that's so exciting.
O'Mary, we cannot count out how insane it is that this ass play from off Broadway has been the runaway hit of the season.
And also broad comedy. I mean, it's very current in how insane it is, but it's so classic too. Like you're watching I don't know, the whiz bang of an early screwball comedy as much as you're watching this completely show, as you said.
Bring back real comedies to Broadway too, because we saw Plaza Suite and there were no laughs.
No. Right. And I mean, they were very smart. They brought in Betty Gilpin, who was amazing. They brought out Titus Burgess, who was amazing and is coming back. And the play just suits all these different people in a way that for a second it looked like maybe Cole could be the only one. I love O'Mary. I would absolutely love for her to win.
Yeah. Revival
play. We have Eureka Day, which is sort of a category fraud. There's the rules against what's revival and what's new are odd, but it was fine. I liked it. Romeo plus Juliet. Gen Z take on the classic. I didn't hate it as much as I thought it would. Actually, kind of quite liked it. Our Town is pretty good, and Yellowface. This is a weird category. Yellowface, maybe.
I feel like
There's a lot
that's
of
what's going to
goodwill.
win too. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
who was in
revival
our
of-
who was in Our Town that mattered?
Jim Parsons,
Jim Parsons,
Zoe
yes,
Deutsch,
yeah, yeah.
and Katie Holmes.
Yeah, Zoe Deutsch still really good in that movie. Everybody wants some, I have to say. Okay,
Say that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And revival of a musical. This is interesting. Sunset Boulevard, Gypsy, Floyd Collins, Pirates, the Penzance musical. I feel like it's going to go to Sunset Boulevard.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so as well.
But I do really want to see Pirates, which feels like it just sort of came out, but I really want to
Yeah.
see Jinx Monsoon in it.
Jinx would have been an amazing nomination, by the way. She really, really does like Gilbert and Sullivan well. But yeah, the Tonys did not show that production much love. If before it seemed like it was Sunset versus Gypsy, the fact that Gypsy did not get a director nomination is, I think, the telltale sign.
I love that Jinx Monsoon. We just have a drag queen whose whole thing is kind of the 1880s. Just like from like pre-vaudeville. Like, no, we haven't even gotten to vaudeville yet.
Get Jinx and Cole in a show next.
Would love that.
please.
Would love that. And of course,
Please,
Jinx would
shut
probably be
down
great
the
in Oh
theater.
Mary. So there you go. Coming up, we have our interview with Darren Criss. But before that, some quick housekeeping. Trans people are under attack by weirdos who think trans people shouldn't exist, and billionaire sex pests should. Stand up for the trans community in a Trans People Have Always Existed t-shirt or tote at the Crooked store. Show your defiance with a statement that isn't actually radical at all. Head to crooked.com/store to shop. All right, when we're back, we're joined by Tony nominee Darren Criss.
Today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. And I ain't talking about the thing that squirrel keeps stealing from my tree.
You're talking about some other Acorn. In fact, you're talking about Acorns, which is a financial wellness app that makes it easy to start saving and investing for your future. You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now, even if all you've got is spare change. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns recommends a diversified portfolio that can help you weather all of the market's ups and downs. You just need to stick with it, and Acorns makes that easy too. Acorns automatically invest your money, giving it a chance to grow with time.
This just sounds like the lyrics to Love Don't Cost a Thing.
Which, I don't know, in this economy, as you've heard, it now does cost quite a bit.
Yeah, the tariffs.
That's right. You know what's nice about Acorns? It's passive investing. So it makes it really easy to keep contributing, even if you're somebody who never wants to think about your financial well-being and just live blithely in the universe as, other people take advantage of you.
I think of myself as a blithe spirit.
Oh, okay, Mr. Noel Coward. Or Mrs. Noel Coward, if you believe the rumors.
Well, what you should do is sign up now and join over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $25 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/keepit or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/keepit. Keep It is brought to you by Fatty 15.
All right, Ira, how much time, money, and energy have you spent on health and wellness products and supplements to look and feel younger and healthier? And did it work in A Death Becomes Her Way?
Well, let me tell you something. Buying Ozempic in an alley from a man in a trench coat is not advisable.
Oh, wow. A man in a trench coat and alley. You were in the Billie Jean video when this happened.
No, I think we both know that spending money on not just supplements, but your gym, spending it on meal prep and other things can get pricey. And so you need to figure out a way to keep your body looking fresh and clean, but at an affordable rate.
And one way you can do that is with Fatty 15. We're so excited to share with you C15 from Fatty 15, the first essential fatty acid to be discovered in more than 90 years. It's an incredible scientific breakthrough to support our long-term health and wellness, and you guessed it, aging and longevity. And as you know, we are aging here, and our longevity is in question. Based on over 100 studies, we now know that C15 strengthens our cells and is a key longevity-enhancing nutrient, which helps to slow biological aging at the cellular level. In fact, when our cells don't have enough C15, they become fragile and age faster, and when our cells age, our bodies age too. Thankfully, Fatty 15 repairs age-related damage to cells protects them from future breakdown, and activates pathways in the body that help regulate our sleep, mood, and natural repair mechanisms that support our overall health. This functionality leads to so many other exciting benefits now, and as we get older. In fact, 72% of Fatty 15 customers report seeing or feeling benefits within 16 weeks, including improved metabolic, liver, and heart health, smoother functioning joints, and deeper sleep, or healthier hair, skin, and nails. Now, that's essential.
Fatty 15 is also a science-backed, award-winning, vegan, patented, 100% pure C15 supplement. It's vegan-friendly, free of flavors, fillers, allergens, or preservatives. Now, if that's not 100% pure love, I don't know what is.
Ugh, Crystal Waters, Pride season is coming. We will be hearing those vocals again soon. My experience with Fatty 15, my skin is better than ever. My rosacea is down. I am glowing. I look like Nicole Kidman in Portrait of a Lady.
Well, best of all, Fatty 15 comes in a gorgeous reusable glass bamboo jar, and refills are shipped right to your door. Fatty 15 is on a mission to optimize your C15 levels to help you live healthier, longer. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/keepit and using code KEEPIT at checkout. This week's guest is a true triple threat, constantly scorching the stage and screen with his inextinguishable talent. He's won an Emmy, a Golden Globe, and the adoration of Glee fans like myself everywhere. And now, after giving a sensational performance in the Broadway musical Maybe Happy Ending, he could be adding a Tony to that list very soon. So without further ado, please welcome to Keep It, Darren Criss, recent Tony nominee.
Yeah, man.
Congratulations.
Pretty neat. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I feel always so bad talking to people on Broadway on their Monday off. I'm like, how can you be buoyant at all? I feel like this is just to be a time where you like sit in like an oven or a tanning bed and just weep or something.
I just came from that.
Oh yeah.
So perfect. Yeah. No, dude, it's I mean, there's a lot to say there. I appreciate your diplomacy, but I don't mind doing the show as often as I do. I like to. It gets me going, and in order to feel relaxed, or like I relax in real time. That's the trick. Like while I'm working hard, I am relaxing. Like I'm pretty diligent, if not militant, about doing both things like in tandem. So at any point, I'm like, God, I could really just use a day to do this. It's like I work it into the schedule, as it were. So don't worry, this is all part of it, and it's fun for me, really. Like I don't work in a fucking coal mine in harsh conditions. Like it's all a joy. I get to talk to you guys. Like
it's nice that you have such a philosophical idea about your personal battery life and are in a show about battery life. So
it's a lot of art is imitating life. Like there's a lot there. Have you guys seen the show?
I've seen it twice.
Get out of here.
And I've cried both times, many times. I won't mention how many times I've cried watching the show, but it's really beautiful. And I also have, this is frequently the show that I recommend to friends who say that they don't like musicals. And I don't know if I'm friends with these people, but
me too.
Whenever they're like, I want to see a play, but they're like, I don't really like musicals. And then they like state musicals that they love, which are great. People have weird brains, but I always tell them to go and see this show because the music is just so beautiful, but it doesn't feel like a stop and start Gilbert and Sullivan.
I would agree. It is one of the most accessible things I've ever been a part of in my life. Easily. Mm-hmm. Usually there's a like a paywall of sorts, not literally, but well, figuratively, I guess, as well. There's only so much access things can have, and one of the great lines that this piece walks, that is if everybody knew the secret to this alchemy, everybody would have hits all the time. But it's damn near impossible to try and manufacture a way to put the lightning in the bottle, and that is being able to walk at the right time and place the line of accessibility and sophistication. This is in all realms of commercial entertainment. This is the goal, but it's just damn near impossible, and it's going to oscillate, or there's going to be different, there are things that are pretty broad and things that perhaps if you long for something more cerebral or again sophisticated or heightened, you might be, it might be jeopardizing a bit of that element. And so people that want something a little more erudite might be a little put off. And same goes for the other way around. It's like there are things that I love on Broadway that I will watch going like, this is not for most people. This is like scratching a very pretentious, esoteric itch that I happen to subscribe to, but by no means would I ever expect anybody to like this. This is hard to ingest. And so, it's like it's hard to go back and forth. So yeah, there's a thing about the show that feels so familiar but also so new. It's like it's very, very cool to recommend to people because you can know everything about theater and dig this, I think, and know fuck all and still be into it. Like I'm a big show queen. I see everything. I don't miss anything. I know too much. Like I'm encumbered and frankly burdened by knowing too much and having too much expectation and hope for this medium.
Are there things you like have seen while because you're working on this show now?
I see
everything.
And
like you've seen everything.
I don't miss a thing unless there's literally maybe 5 or 6 shows this season that were just like impossible. Like we had the exact same thing, but every show has that odd Monday or that Thursday night because some actor had something or their opening night or a holiday. So again, like I said, I'm very diligent, if not militant, about like making sure that my leisure time and things that I enjoy can be accounted for. So anyway, I was just going to say, like, I don't envy, shows where people come in with that expectation. Like our dear Audra down the street from me, who is a fucking animal and is an extraordinary performer and inspiration to us all. She's got the weight of the world on her because she's got to rip her soul out for like 3.5 hours, 8 times a week for a role that most people going in there are pretty damn familiar with. Music they're pretty damn familiar with. Guys like me going like, how's she gonna sing this one? And that's dumb, like you got to put yourself in the headspace of like a 12-year-old that doesn't know anything about this character or this story or these songs and just have the objective wow factor. And so that's what's so great about being in the show where like I feel the audience every time, like kind of going, like rubbing their eyes, going like, wait, what? And that's a really magical, privileged place to get to be in because we are this new thing. And I've never got, because anytime I've done a show in New York, it's been a show that was like known and was awesome well before I got there and would have been just as awesome if I never touched it. So having that newness is great. If you guys can't tell, I'm very talkative about the show because I love it so much.
I gather that. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you're going to have to stop me. Keep me on the tracks.
Well, no, I'm like heartened to hear that you've gotten to see these other shows, especially since you've always conveyed that you're such a huge fan of Broadway. But like, so have you seen the people you're nominated against in the Best Actor category?
Nominated with, darling.
Yes,
of course. I've seen every single one except one, and I plan on seeing it before the big show in June. And there is no world where I walk into Radio City Music Hall on June 8th where I have not seen every single person's performance.
By the way, I wish people treated the Oscars this way. Like, we'll have nominees on here, and they're kind of like, oh, I've seen like half of them or whatever. So the fact that you can do that, and it literally is like an Olympic undertaking to do, like, people should take note.
Well, listen, it's not a cheap habit. I spent a mild fortune on getting to do this. And like I was joking earlier about a paywall, like, I wish Broadway was more financially accessible to more people. That's a thing that we've been working on for years. And I happen to work in the industry. These are all write-offs. These are things that are part of, that behooves me to go see beyond just like, my love of Broadway. It's a professional, thing that matters to me. And I also, I run like this music festival called LC Fest, and it behooves my work to know exactly what the fuck is going on. Like, I want to know who all the players are on the field, So yeah, I will get to see it, but it's hard. Like, not everybody can do it, and I don't. If there's other performers, again, like if Audra's like, wow, I didn't get a chance to see Nicole, like, how could she? They're both working their asses off. Like, there should be no expectation that it's possible. I'm just slightly psychotic. So to each their own. I don't think it's like a bad thing if you can't, because everybody's really working their asses off. you know?
No, now that you've brought this up, I have to ask. And I'm not asking you to pick a favorite, but this, and also, of course, Death Becomes Her, like those two performances are in that category too. But Audra and Nicole, like Ira and I can't stop talking about those two performances. We've been just, obsessed with those people for years and years and years. Where do you come in watching Sunset Boulevard and Gypsy and those takes on those very familiar roles?
Well, like I said, it's like I know too much, and I somewhat notoriously never have anything negative to say about anything. Not because I'm like Mr. Diplomacy, but because I just, there's too much value in what everybody in this industry is doing and has done to get to be doing what they're doing. Like, we're in the Olympic fucking tent, man. Like, this is it. Like, even if you didn't like a show or its music or something didn't click with you, at this point it's just taste and context. Like, as far as ability is concerned, this is it. This is the highest level. So when you see something, you're like, geez, this is the best we got. Okay, yes. Like,
It is.
like this, if it was not for you, you still have to contextualize like the artisans that had to work their fucking asses off to get to that situation. So that's a huge broad stroke about not just people performing, but people creating, producing, right? But for women like that, I mean, look, it's like, how can you possibly, when you said against, and I was being, again, the guy I say I'm not Mr. Diplomacy, but like, it really is a with thing. There are so many. Those are just two widely different performances and widely different shows and contexts, and offer different things, and they have different contexts, and they mean stuff. And then, when you talk about the, I don't know, there's so many things about things in the accolade space that have nothing to do with the performance or the person. There's also this weird sort of like kaleidoscope of things that have to be happening in pop culture for to just sway somebody with a voting power in one direction or the other, where it does kind of come down to class president politics of like, I like her.
Yeah. I mean, people are debating those two, obviously, but I am just so utterly obsessed with Jasmine Amy Rogers.
Yes, dude.
I've seen Boot.
I was gonna say,
well.
I
love that show.
I'm only mentioning those two women because you just mentioned them. You could, I could have applied what I said to any configuration of those women. That wasn't like a favorites picking. And for me,
Lewis likes death matches. He missed a celebrity death match from MTV.
Right.
Yeah. Broadway death match is a whole other thing. I don't know if it's bloodier or just maybe more fabulous. I'm a big fan, I should just say, of Death Becomes Her. Doing this show at this moment in time for me is there's not enough time for me to really articulate how special it is for me. I've said this ad nauseum across podcasts and interviews, but I will say it a millionth time just because I want you guys to know where I'm at. The show is like the greatest possible thing that could be happening to me in my life at this juncture in my life, professionally, personally, and professionally I should say artistically. I kind of put those together, but like professionally / artistically, personally, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Like, there's no higher rung in the ladder. This is it. It is so wondrous, and it has and that's like, there's too many categories of that. So there's like what the show is, what it's about, what it allows my life outside of the show, and then there's all these other like personal footnotes which connects to Death Becomes Her. One of my best buddies growing up in San Francisco that I grew up doing theater with, I've known this girl since she was 5, is Julia Madison, and she is one of the two of the duo that wrote the music for Death Becomes Her, and like we're like doing it together. We're seeing each other afterwards going like, dude, can you fucking believe this shit? And it is just like the sheer, I will use the word because it was a word before it was a popular TV show, the sheer glee that it like gives my soul to like see this happening between friends and colleagues is fun. And back to the nomination thing, like, these aren't like, I've just recently met Tom, and we've kind of become chummy, and we all have plans to get together and kind of have a kiki just between us before we have to do this in front of people. But I've met every single person. I've paid money to see every single person do a thing, whether it's the thing they're doing now or the thing they've done before. Like, there's just a familial thing going on. Like, there are people that I've been nominated with in other mediums, like that I'm a huge fan of, that like I never got to meet, and I was like bummed about it. Like I really wanted to meet some of these people, and because you're not working within 10 blocks of each other, and because you're not doing it at the same time, because it's not in the can. You know, I always say this about Tonys, like, dude, like, you know, everybody at the Tonys is still doing the thing, and no matter what happens for them on Sunday, they're gonna fucking do the thing again most of them are gonna do it again on Tuesday, as opposed to like the Grammys or Emmys or Oscars. It's like it's done. They did it like a year ago.
Right.
And what's even better, and this is my favorite thing to tell people, especially non-theater people, like if you ever are watching the Tonys or you watch a YouTube performance of Patty doing Evita in the 80s, and she's just she's fucking doing it all, just ripping it out.
I love that performance.
That's an iconic performance, right? So she's in the bed, she's singing her fucking tits off. Dude, that's the second time it's probably the third or fourth time she's done it that day, because she would have rehearsed for it that morning, then did a matinee. She did a show, and she got out of the hair and makeup and the wig and everything, and then she got into a new look, walked the carpet, answered questions, sat down in the look, watched the show. Then somebody with a clipboard and earpiece went, all right, Mr. Pond, you're ready to go. She had to go backstage, get back in hair, makeup, wig, do it again, and then sit back down. Like, any performance you're watching, you're like, they had a matinee. They just did this. It's like the joy that it would give me if it was like, all right, and ladies and gentlemen, now for her 27th, her 159th Oscar nomination, Meryl Streep will now perform a monologue from the film in which she's nominated.
Yes.
And she goes up and she does it.
Your
like
lips
there.
to God's ears. We should be petitioning for things like this. Yeah.
That would be so cool. I mean, it's just that, I mean, it'd be absurd, but like, you know, like I get a certain pride about, again, the workhorse ethic of like everybody here is doing it and has just did it and will do it in 2 days, no matter how this night shakes out. And that has, I have such profound respect and admiration for that.
It's absolutely fun to just being, I mean, I was at Dead Outlaw Thursday after the nominations, and it's always fun, like, being in the theater after the nominations have happened, like, or after someone wins, you know, people are just very happy. The audiences, you get to celebrate those people. I want to ask you one last question before we go.
Oh my God, is that it? Jeez, I was just mouthing off about
before you talked about seeing, you know, so many shows and, you know, seeing the people you're nominated with, but I have a question about you being in one of my favorite shows, Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
I've seen mostly every Seymour.
Get out of here.
Whenever there's a new cast member, I go and see. I fucking love that show. But I just want to know, did you get to see many of the Seymours before you were Seymour? And then how is that when you're not just, I guess, playing a role that people know, but playing a role where people are continuing to come in and give a new version of the same role, like every few months?
So first of all, that's amazing that you've gone to see it that many times. And I'm so grateful just for that as a concept that you exist. That's amazing. Thank you for doing that. Two, which honestly should have been one, let's hear it for the off-Broadway production of Little Shop at the Tonys. Joy Woods, Jeremy Jordan, Jonathan Groff, yours truly, Conrad Ricamora, and forgive me if I'm forgetting anybody else. There's, now I'm like nervous. You can go to their Instagram and see they like made a shout about this where I was like, oh my God, fuck yeah, this is so cool. Well, listen, I mentioned being a part of shows that were greater before you got there. That's every single person that was in that show would have grown up with some sort of connection to that show. And in the way that you love that show, I think it's a near perfect, if not perfect, piece. So, you know, you're getting, it's the ultimate wish fulfillment, right? Like you get to like play pretend in your favorite story. You know, if this is what we do as children, like, and we get to do professionally, getting to be part of your favorite thing is the ultimate version. That's what Hedwig was for me. Hedwig was such a massive part of my life as a teenager. Just everything that it was about, what the music, the subversiveness, the rock and rollness, it kind of just checked all the boxes for me. So getting to do that on Broadway 10 years ago at the same theater that I'm doing Maybe Happy Ending now, like that, it was a dream come true. So I keep saying this phrase, but that's why I love the theater. It's the closest thing that you can come to this sort of getting to honor the things that inspired you paradigm is standards. You know, Broadway has standards. There are standard plays, right? Seminal favorites. There are works that we can do. It's not like I'm going to sit here and then I'm going to paint you my Starry Night. It's done. That's it. That's forever the thing. And in many ways, film is like that, shy of remakes. Like, I'm not sitting here going like, oh, I can't wait to show you my Don Corleone. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe if they remake it, but like, no, that's it. Like, that's the film. And like, there's exceptions to this with stock characters that we have, superheroes and stuff like that. But for the most part, theater is the theater and like singing standards. Like Ella can sing a Cole Porter song, but then like Beyonce can sing one, and they're both honoring Cole Porter, but like the inevitable differences in their voice and nuance and context and arrangements and reharmonizing can recontextualize it infinitely, even though at the end of the day, the play is the thing, the song's the thing, you know, like Cole Porter's thing is still the most, you know, intact, important meat of the sandwich, as it were. And so with things like Little Shop, it's a way for me to like honor things that I think are just so much bigger than me, and getting to be part of this ancient conversation of like, we talk a lot about spirits and the ghosts of theater. That show is really special to me because of Howard Ashman, who is like my personal Jesus, and a man that is, even though I never met him, I've always felt sort of like cosmically connected to, and somebody who I've always used as, even though I don't know, I never knew him personally, but like my North Star of like, what would Howard think of this? Like, from what I can deduce of what Howard made in life, would he fuck with this, you know? And doing that show was a way for me to be a part of that legacy and honoring him. So I don't know if that was your question, but as far as getting to see other people, of course I saw other people, because I love the song, the play. I love the things that make these things special are so much more than the performers. Like, if it was just the performers, then the show would close without that performer and nobody would care. But there's an enduring spirit to these things, which is why, again, getting to redo pieces of theater or something. Dude, ideal scenario, I get to see somebody else do Oliver in many years from now, somewhere else in another place in time, and go, whoa, like did not see that before. Like, that is a beautiful hope, you know? I hope that I get to experience that. And that person would get to do that too in their life. Like, that's the wonderful thing about the sort of like the transience of theater, but at the same time, this sort of enduring passing onness of something that is so ephemeral. It's like, you had to be there, but also it can live on forever, which also is kind of something that maybe Happy Ending is about. So there's a lot to unpack there.
Speaking of that, one last question about maybe Happy Ending. Watching clips from this, your choices as a robot.
That was so sweet, because he hasn't seen it, so he's really
I live in LA. I'll be there soon, so I will be seeing it.
Wait, before you ask this question, I'm so sorry, but like Ira, having seen this twice, how hard has it been to explain to Lewis like what this is? Like, it's such a joy for me and a challenge. I think my favorite stories of all time are like impossible to like communicate. Like, all the best, all of our favorite IP is so dumb on paper, right? So I can only imagine you, after seeing this twice, trying to like sell Lewis on it.
I tell people that I just tell people it's robots in Korea, it's the future, and the music is beautiful.
Great. That's all you need to know. The less you know, the better. I will just say that. I think seeing the show rewards sort of anonymity. But go on, Lewis. What clips are we talking about?
Oh, yes, pardon me.
While I'm grilling you.
Your acting choices are so fun and eye-popping to watch on the screen. I was wondering if, when this show is over, do you have any favorite robot moves that you will miss? Just things you do as this character that you will probably never do as another character ever.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to project what you'll miss when you're not in a position to be missing it. That's sort of the
it's still ongoing.
The tax
I feel
of life itself, right?
I feel bad for people promoting Broadway shows because they're still doing it. Like they don't have the perspective on, it being over yet.
Yeah, I think a question like I've gotten twice now. It's like, what have you learned from this experience? And I'm like, you'll have to ask me once the experience is in the rear view mirror. Like I'm still in the car. Like it's like I'm on the fucking roller coaster and I'm just going woo. So I really don't know what to say because I'm kind of in it. I miss all of it. It's all a collective thing. Like holistically, like the show is about. We were talking about the sort of meta connections between life and art and this piece. Like. Yeah, I will be very sad when this thing is over, but by the time that is, which I hope will be a very long time from now, the show is about being okay with things being over, maybe. So it kind of is built in this like pillow for you to land. It's almost designed for sentimental people like myself that will be, very sad to leave something like this. But again, this show is about embracing things while they're there and being okay with them not, and also understanding that they are there in another sort of profound way, not unlike the things I was saying about theater itself. So there's many layers to this thing where it's commenting on itself at all times. So I will miss it, but I will also be at peace with it. There's a great line in one of the songs that the other robot on stage, Claire, played by the staggering Broadway debut of Helen J. Shen. She's
so amazing. She's
incredible. It's for the Broadway history books. I feel like it's again the many lists of why this is amazing. The endless list. One of them is I have a front row seat to what I believe to be a historic Broadway performance every night, and it's one of the great joys of this whole experience. What was I going to say? She says in the song, the way that it has to be, when that final moment comes, I'll say hi and shake its hand, be polite and let it in. And I just think there's a real grace to being okay with things kind of running their course. That is not easy, but goals. If you have the resilience and the fortitude for it, I think it's a beautiful way to look at anything that you've enjoyed. So hopefully I'll have that same attitude. But I don't need it to happen anytime soon.
Thank you so much for being here with us, Darren.
Thank you for supporting
such a joy.
these shows. Yes. Yeah, oh my God, I could talk to you guys forever.
And thank you, and good luck at the Tonys with all your fellow nominees, not against them.